Don Bosco Vazhikaatti.
Don Bosco Vazhikaatti, Center for Career Guidance, Training and Placement for the past 27 years. On the previous video, we dealt with Old English, Middle English and Modern English variations. As now, after the Old English, we have a refined language called English language and literature. Now we have the most important age where writers were flourished, and the most important Queen was ruled the country, England. What are all the political reforms and the social reforms was happened on the Elizabethan age. Elizabethan age of English literature. As this timeline of British history, as I've already displayed on my first video, but to have a better understanding, I just want you to again show you this. This is the entire timeline I'm going to tell you. The Old English, Middle English and Modern English was already I've completed in the previous video. As I'm going to step into the Elizabethan period. These are the books that I always tell you to follow when you really want to adapt or you want to involve in the literature. Kindly follow this History of England and then History of English Literature by Edward Albert, or you can prefer Hudson's book. That will be a very better English language that you could able to follow. And you have Arthur Crompton Ricketts. This is the most brief explanation that you have both together, the political history as well as the literary background is there. Yeah. Last video I completed on Old English and Anglo-Saxon. Now I'll come on with the Elizabethan age, 1558 to 1603. So this age is actually related to, it is referred as a golden period. Why it is referred as a golden period? Is it entirely what something gold was manufactured or gold is nothing like that. It is related to about the entire language was refined, distilled and then formed by the writers. Elizabethan age refers to the period of English history on the region of Queen Elizabeth I. So it is always important to understand the political background of the country, because without the political background, without the political trends of the country, you does not have a piece of literature at all. Okay, all the writers were, even the writers has their own individual writing style. They would have been want to follow all the kinds of imaginative things what they really want to do that, but they always influence with the country, because it is to be standard. The writers has to follow the political trends that is currently happen in favor of their kings and queens on during the region. It is often considered as the golden age of English, marked by a significant development in what all the developments was happened in art, literature, music and exploration. Here are the key aspects of Elizabethan age. First I'll come with a historical context, then I'll go on with the what are the changes was happened on the next concept. Yeah, Elizabethan era was part of the larger Renaissance movement sweeping across the Europe, emphasizing the humanism, science and the arts. You find in various colleges, in people who are studying in English, they used to call as science and humanities. The way, okay, humanism, literature is that is most involved with the humanism, humanity, that you favor for the people, that you for the people you related to. Okay, Elizabethan I region provided a political stability and allowing for the cultural and the economic growth. Yes, people really have their own kind of trade, Slavian trade. They had their own kind of economical development in the Elizabethan age. So people as well as the writers, people in the sense, the people who belong to the Britain has their own kind of economic growth in their life, as well as the writings also evolved. It was a time of religious transformation and the Protestant nation. Most important word, religious transformation. Yes, all of them are very stick to their own religions. They have their own Protestants. We have Protestants, we have Catholics people. So this kind of transformation was happened on the Queen Elizabethan period. Literature and drama. Elizabethan age is renowned for its literary achievements, particularly in the drama, because we have a major people, major writers, but I should say like they were major dramatists were in the period of Elizabethan literature, because we have a very great writer called William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, Ben Jonson. All these people were very great dramatists who have excelled in their works of 5-act structure. William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, Ben Jonson, Edmund Spenser are some of the era's most famous writers. The plays of Shakespeare, Hamlet, Romeo Juliet, Midsummer Night Dreams, Tempest, Much Ado About Nothing. He has written almost 38 plays and he has written 154 sonnets. Spenser's The Fairy Queen is an epic poem. I'm just telling you to note down this word epic poem because I will be teaching you on the upcoming videos related to what is called literary forms. You would have able to find the word called what is epic, what is sonnet, what is ballad. All these kinds of, when you start studying a poem, you will be get to know about all these words. What is the meaning of it? Why do we call as epic poem? Why do we call as a sonnet poem? And the theatres, the development of the theatres, because major dramatists were flourished in this period. So related to that, we have a theatres also built up because the dramas were written as well as they projected in the theatres, become a cultural hubs. And Queen Elizabeth, these important writers, William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, Ben Jonson. Shakespeare was the most important person in this period because he has written large number of works on the period. He was very favor person or favoritism of Queen Elizabeth because he always, whenever he writes a drama piece of literary work, he always wants the Queen Elizabeth to watch in the theatre. So that kind of people usually has with their queen regents. Second, development of art and the music. The art is a portrait flourished depicting the Queen Elizabeth as symbol of power and the beauty. Very beautiful woman and very power and authority, the Queen Elizabeth. The region was, that's what it's called as the golden age. It is not only related to the large number of production of the works. It is all about the women who took over the country and she ruled and then she flourished. All the developments of the, she makes the developments with the people as well as with the writers. Music was an essential part of the courtly life, and the most important two men where flourished the music is Thomas Tallis and William Britt, the musical legacy. Then come back with a cultural background, great artistic, literary and intellectual culture. What do you mean by like intellectual culture? Intellectual, that is something so important, or that is to be advisory on the form of people who are supposed to be educated in the way. It was a time of English Renaissance. Please always keep it, remember this word, Renaissance is nothing but rebirth. Rebirth of the works which was happened on the Elizabethan age. William Shakespeare was a major figure in the Elizabethan era. Other important poets were Edmund Spenser and Sir Philip Sidney. Edmund Spenser's most famous work is Epithalamion and Prothalamion. He has published this entirely, the poem is related to his wedding, as well as the Prothalamion is about the it's related with the two girls of mixed in the way of race and together. So Sir Philip Sidney. So he also he is also one of the most important person who delivers a lot of works in the period of Elizabethan age. So the large production of the works, because why I'm telling the large production, the literary piece was born in the sense, until the modern English, we never have a proper English formation at all. People like, yes, you could have able to guess on, yes, we have Chaucer on that period, Christopher Marlowe on that period, yes, we have, but people in the Chaucer are always influenced with the Middle English. He has written a very beautiful work called Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales, it was written in the Middle English in the period, but the major part of English was refined in the Elizabethan era. The monarchy and the government, because the political background is most important one, centralized with the government and the military. It's all about the Queen Elizabeth regent's power, and then she stood as a pillar for the people, and she defined all the refined process together. The monarchy is about the England, Elizabethan, centralized and efficient, because the most important one is the monarchy and the government. It is to be that, because we now it is not the period as we live on this period now. We do not have kind of people like kings or queens, but in the olden days, our ancestors, or maybe like they were the very king masters of developing the country. They were the ruling the country together. So Parliament was divided into House of Lords and House of Commons. I will be explaining you about this House of Lords and House of Commons. So like people who belong to House of Lords and House of Commons, they both were like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha as of now, and the local governments were important with the loyal representative of each country. The judicial system, about the people who involved in the crime, involved with any kind of punishments related to that. So they have to go on with the quarter section quotes. So thank you so much for listening. This is all about the political background on literature, music, monarchy systems about the Elizabethan era. Keep loving literature. Thank you.